Hey, I'm Stevie T, and there's a lot of hated bands out there, let me tell ya. But I've always been intrigued as to why these bands are hated. So today we're gonna do a top 10 most hated bands ever. And I do need to clarify before we get started that just because a band is hated doesn't mean they suck or that they deserve the hate necessarily. Because let's face it, you have to be loved in order to be hated. So here's number 10 on our list. No, I don't want to say AC/DC. So the main argument as to why people don't like AC/DC? Because all the songs sound the same. And that's another problem that some people have with AC/DC is that they don't like Brian Johnson's vocals. But what's not to like? Okay, so maybe Brian Johnson's vocals aren't everyone's bag of onions, but they have their formula, they've had that formula for many decades, and it works for them. Why would they want to change? I actually commend them for not changing their style just to fit in with a current trend, or because a label told them to change. So stop hating on AC/DC, because they're really kinda neat. Now I hate to put Metallica on this list, but the fact is, as much love as they get a lot of hate. Why? But I think the reason why they get a lot of hate is because they've changed a lot over the years, and people in general don't like change. Metallica started off as a thrash metal band, and they sold out and did the Black Album with a more mainstream sound. And then Metallica starts to get a little cuckoo-magoo. They do the whole load and reload thing, they bust out the fur coats, they bust out the eyeliner, and let me tell ya, the original Metallica fans, not big on the fur coats, not big on the eyeliner. They didn't like it. They didn't like it. And then the 2000s roll along, and they bust out the atrocity that is known as sane anger. And who was the genius that decided, you know what we should do? We should do a full album where the snare sounds like this. Dun 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 dun. It was weird, man, I don't know. And Kirk Hammett didn't solo at all! But then after years of touring and then releasing Death Magnetic, which actually garnered some pretty positive reviews, they kind of brought it all back. And besides, we all know that Dave Mustaine created thousands of accounts just to hate on Metallica online. Good old Black Veil Brides. Now, I can appreciate them musically, their guitarists are sick, and I actually think Andy Biersack's a good singer. In fact, a lot of people say that Andy's singing sucks, and it's like, dude, we live in a world of nut-grabbing, helium-sucking, estrogen-induced singers. Biersack actually has depth to his voice. You know, he actually sounds like he's not compressing his scrotals. But I think a lot of the hate for Black Veil Brides stems from the fact that they're labeled as a metal band. You're like, at heaviest, they're hard rock. That's not metal. So that coupled with the fact that they kinda look like 1984 era Motley Crue? Or maybe a lot of people hate Black Veil Brides because Andy Biersack's belly button is 3 inches away from his nipples. And what if I always told you guys, you can never, ever trust anyone whose belly button is 3 inches away from their nipples? And I'm dead serious. Essentially, with the onset of grunge, 80s hair metal became the laughingstock of the world. And the one hair band that everyone decided to pick on was Winger. For example, Beavis and Butthead poked fun at Winger. The character Stuart, the nerdy kid that no one liked, he wore a Winger shirt.
Stuart, what a wiener.
And on top of that, in Metallica's music video for Nothing Else Matters, Lars actually throws darts at a Winger poster. So that certainly didn't win Winger any fans. But lest we forget, Winger was a great band. And Rhett Beach is one of the greatest guitarists of all time, super unappreciated. Now someone recommended to me that Lost Prophets is hated worldwide because of Ian. Lost Prophets? I remember them being a sick band, but I'm curious to see why they would be hated. Okay, so Ian was the singer. Oh, okay, apparently he was sentenced to... Well, there's one band I'll never be able to listen to ever again. Great! Congrats, sicko! You just got yourself the number 6 spot on this list. Ah, don't mind me, I'm just sitting here playing one of U2's newest songs. And that's one of the main things that people have to say about U2. It's that they've been riding on the same songs for decades, and they never release anything new or interesting. And they're a good band. Edge is a great guitarist. But then there's Bono. I think he's a great frontman, though I will say there's something super ironic about Bono taking pictures in third world countries while wearing sunglasses that are like probably $10,000. But who are we to judge, really? He's done amazing charity work regardless. So anyways, yeah, a great band that I'm a fan of. All right, we're getting closer to number one. So now we're gonna start seeing bands that actually kind of deserve the hate they get. These bands are actually gonna start to suck a little bit. You knew this one was coming. Coldplay, but they've had some good songs in the past, when they're not busy ripping off a Joe Satriani song, of course. And, you know, all the hate for Coldplay comes from the people who don't like Chris Martin. At least that's how he comes off, and it just rubs people the wrong way. And another complaint people have about Coldplay is that their music is just boring. It's just tedious and boring. And even Chris Martin sounds bored when he's singing. Creed doesn't actually suck. Mark Tremonti is a fantastic guitarist. Not that you'd ever know by listening to Creed. And everyone says Creed's songs all sound the same. Or maybe everyone just hates Scott Stapp's voice. You know, everyone was kind of sick of that vocal style after the grunge era. But all that being said, they were huge back in the early 2000s. And their music brings back some good memories for me. Well, here we are. The hate train has arrived. Limp Bizkit. Even the name Limp Bizkit is like, what were you thinking? But let's give them the benefit of the doubt. Let's see what Zakk Wylde thinks of Limp Bizkit.
Limp Bizkit and all that wiener. Limp Bizkit can suck our big fat. Limp Bizkit sucks.
Alright then. Alright then. But what makes Limp Bizkit one of the most hated bands ever? Well, for starters, Fred Durst has a severe case of mononucleosis. The rest of Limp Bizkit? Really talented guys. And let's face it, a lot of people blame Limp Bizkit for this whole nu metal shtick, deciding it was a good idea to put rap and metal together.
Limp Bizkit still sucks.
Well, well, well. We've made it to number one. We all know what band is in the number one spot. And honestly, I have so much to say about this band that we've actually run out of time for today, but I will have to address them in a different video. Can you guys guess what band it is?